Welcome, everyone. I'm so happy you're here, and I know your time is precious, so let's jump in. But we're here tonight, not for long, so maybe 30 minutes, and we are going to create Herstory, which is your health and hormone timeline. And this is an awesome tool. It's practical, it's tangible. I want you to walk away with something that will help you moving forward. So, a little intro, and then we're going to jump right in. So, you're in the right place if you know that we're all unique and you want to personalize your health efforts, if you want to feel and age your best, if you want to understand your unique health story and body a little bit better, if you want to look for some personal triggers, connect some dots, maybe track previous efforts you've made to resolve symptoms in the past. Or if you're just curious about health, this is an awesome framework for inviting curiosity. So that's where we really get to take charge of our health. So my promise to you is we're going to jump right into this as soon as I introduce myself, and you're going to walk away with a tangible, practical tool. Tips for watching it. You guys can use the template that you maybe have. I'm going to share it right now in the comments. This is my timeline template. So if you guys want, you can click on that document and copy it, like create, it's a Google document, so you can create a copy of it and have that be your own. So you can use that if you want, or you can just listen along, but I definitely recommend doing some sort of writing with this. So use a pen and paper, go on your computer and just create your own document. It doesn't really matter, but you're welcome to use my document if it helps you. Okay, this is what I truly believe. I believe the world needs an army of wise women who feel fully alive, confident, strong, connected, nourished, calm, and alignment with our soul. I do believe it. I think we could change the world. I think growing older is the ultimate awesomeness. So, this is also a quote that I love. Midlife is not an ending, but a rite of passage into the wise and unapologetic woman you were always meant to be, or person you were always meant to be. But I love that, wise and unapologetic. So when that estrogen veil is lifted, when we don't have that people-pleasing hormone, we really have this opportunity to step into our power. But if we feel like crap, we're not going to want to do that, right? So my goal is to help people understand their body and make efforts to feel and age their best so they can be excited about growing older. This is me. I think most of you guys know me. If you've found me to come to this, you know me. But I'm Janelle. I'm a business owner, a wife, a mom. I really am passionate about helping women understand their body and also bridging the gap between Western medicine and holistic health. So that's a passion of mine. I'm in the waiting room of menopause. So that's really exciting for me. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But when I'm not working, you can usually find me playing in the mountains with some of you here. So this is just some of my training, so you know a little bit more about that, my background. I'm a certified functional medicine nutritionist, doctor of natural medicine, board certified nutrition consultant. I was a yoga therapist way back when, 30 years ago, a women's health herbalist. And I've worked specifically in women's health for 2 decades, but I've worked in the wellness world for 3 decades. And I love science. I love research. I love labs, but I also really love the deep soul work that getting older really invites us to work on. So I think when you combine that science and soul, just like magic, crazy things can happen. So that's a little bit about me. This is my hubby. He's a physician, so kind of inspired me to relentlessly pursue the science of herbs and lifestyle and nutrition because I got sick of the doctors I was working in the hospital with and the doctors when my husband was in med school kind of poo-pooing natural efforts. So I sort of just became way fired up about learning the science of our environment and epigenetics and what foods turn on our genes and how can we use food and lifestyle and herbs in a really smart way to age our best. And I'm going to have time for questions at the end if anyone has any. But okay, so specifically your timeline, what you guys are here to do today. So, what are some of the benefits of having a timeline? Okay, I've mentioned this before, but it's the first thing I do with one-on-one clients. It's the way that we really see who you are, that you get to see who you are. You get to look for your personal triggers and areas to improve health. I have worked with, hundreds of women, and you can have the same symptoms, and men. You can have the same symptoms, but a different trigger and a different cause. So tuning into your own body is really important. It's also nice to know where you are in the process of midlife hormone changes. It's really helpful to sort of write things down and track. It's how I know exactly where I am. People are always like, how do you know where you are? And it's because I track it and I pay attention. Connect the dots and track your history. So a lot of people have had, quite a history of working on different things, different diets, different autoimmune issues, different, whatever it is. So just to track it and see some patterns, work smarter. So not just, do everything that anyone tells you, but you get to actually say, oh no, well, I learned this about myself in my timeline, so I'm not going to do that. And what I mean by that is sort of like the next one, stop following trends if it's not helpful for you. So I'll get people who are like, I'm eating 200 grams of protein a day, but I'm not building muscle. And we go and we look at their timeline and we notice that, maybe 10 years ago, they had a digestive problem and they're not even breaking down or digesting their protein. So there's just like smart hints you can find in doing in your timeline. I love helping the practitioners see you. If you guys see a physician and you have 15 minutes, it's not very much time for them to see you and really understand who you are so they can help you. So you can hand them this piece of paper and they will get an idea of who you are really quickly. And you're going to get better care. If you show up and you say, I've been having this symptom for this long, this makes it better, this makes it worse, you are going to get so much better care from your healthcare providers. So it's really nice for that. Again, it just helps us to be curious. We don't need to know all the answers, but we can start thinking more along the lines of like, like that Sesame Street thinking, where it's like, I wonder if that huge emotional stressor in my life actually did trigger all of those other issues. So it's really a cool place to be curious. And then to step into your power, which I really am passionate about helping women do. So this tool can help you take ownership of your health. So I hope that all makes sense and hopefully you're excited about it as well. Okay, so let's just get into it. Again, if you have a question, put it in the chat, but I'm going to have a whole time at the end to ask questions if you have any. So just to get started with our health and hormone timeline. So I have a picture of mine on the side here, and this is the document. If you guys open yours up, this is what you'll see. And you're going to, again, make a copy, write, whatever, Amy's health history timeline. Name it whatever you want for yourself. And then it's a living document. You don't need to get it all perfect tonight. So I'm always coming back to my timeline and adding things and moving things and just looking and having some aha moments. So get whatever you're going to use to write things down. And then you have the 2 columns. Okay. And it's okay if this takes a second to understand. No pressure, no worries. But I like to do it by decade. So you can see here, start by birth, and then 0 to 10, 11 to 20, your 20s, your 30s, your 40s. This is going to make more sense. On one side, it's health issues, which I'm going to explain a little bit more as we actually dig into it. So things like symptoms, diagnoses, antibiotics, surgeries, things like that. And on the right side is life issues. So we're going to go into what that is, but maybe a new job, a new partner, your parents got divorced, whatever life issue is going on that you feel like was a big deal. Or maybe you don't feel like it was a big deal, but in doing this, you'll learn maybe it was. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, so we're going to jump into actually doing it now. Hopefully, you guys are all ready and stoked. So, what I like to do is start with the present moment. Okay, so starting with the present moment, go to whatever age you are. So, if you're writing in mine, you're going to go to that decade. If you're writing on a piece of paper, just sort of start in the middle, I guess, since we're technically, most of us are in midlife anyway. So, and you're just going to write your age. And then you're going to start writing on the left side in the medical column, just like any symptoms you have, any at all, new, old, doesn't matter. And this isn't like a journal. It's more of like a checklist of just like a running tab of things, because that way, when your provider looks at it or when you look at it, it's not too overloaded with information. It's just got the really important points. So, how are you sleeping? How's your digestion? How's your mental health? Are you on any medications? So go ahead and fill this stuff in now, writing your age, writing what's going on. If you're doing any special therapeutic diets, like maybe you don't eat gluten, write down any of that. So I'm just sort of like rattling this off, and the list is up here. And again, you don't have to get it all. You don't have to get it all perfectly. Your cycle information. So do you know how long your cycle is, your menstrual cycle? Do you know, are you starting to have longer cycles, shorter cycles? That's a really important part for starting to understand where we are in the perimenopause, menopause journey. Because even when we hit menopause, there are a couple phases. So write down if you had your last period 4 years ago or whatever that is. Yeah. So hopefully that makes sense here. Recent diagnoses, anything along that medical, recent surgeries, injuries. I'll give you just a few minutes to write that down. And then on the right side, so in this decade or like recently, I want you guys to write down any beliefs you have. I mean, this is like a big question. We spend a lot of time in this in my courses, but like any beliefs you have right now about growing older. Like, I don't want to grow older. I'm worried about my joints. I'm stoked to be wise. I'm stoked to up level in menopause. Like, whatever it is, I'm scared of hot flashes. Like, any beliefs go over here. And that's a fun one to just kind of keep playing around with. Oh, your energy. How's your energy on a scale of 1 to 10? Do you have like an 8? Are you a 10? Are you a 4, kind of dragging during the day? So write your current energy levels. Do you have a stressful job or do you love your job right now? Write that down. Have you moved or any other stressors happening in your life? And again, the more you work on this, the more it's going to make sense. You're going to like want to go run home and write something down when you're driving in the car, maybe. Um, so just take a couple more minutes on the present moment. And again, if you have any questions, type them in the comments. And you can do this for someone else also. If you have a child that has, any health struggles, or like I have started this with my daughters just around their menstrual cycle starting. So you can do it for someone else. You can do it for your father or anyone. Oh, and I just included this chart that I love, and we talk a lot about in my Empowered Women's Midlife group, just the hormone chart of the reproductive years. So part of the benefit of doing this timeline is learning where you are in the process. So as you can see here, blue is progesterone and pink is estradiol, so your estrogen, and how they change. You can come back to this picture if you want, but it's really cool because there's those stages I was talking about in perimenopause, and first progesterone drops. And with that, usually we get anxiety and trouble sleeping, and maybe our cycles become a little shorter. So once you start tracking, you're going to start to be able to tune into where you are. And then the next phase is estradiol starts sprocketing really high 1 month, pummeling low 1 month, being really erratic. And that's often where people get heavy menstruation and maybe super tender breasts and, lots of symptoms of estrogen dominance. And it can be all over the place, crazy to figure out. It's sort of like when people are like, whoa, this perimenopause is getting like really intense all of a sudden. And then, estradiol eventually begins to drop and your cycles may become very long. So that's a clue. When your cycles become, 60 days long, you think, okay, wow, now I'm in this next phase where estrogen is actually dropping. So that can be really helpful in tracking. And you don't have to remember that. You don't have to know it for now, but by tracking your symptoms, again, it's going to help you tune into where you are. And the point of that, besides just feeling awesome knowing your body, is that you can find the right solution. So that's the important part. So like if you're in early perimenopause, you might be doing certain things to help you ovulate still. But if you're in late perimenopause, that doesn't really make sense anymore. So it really helps us find the right tools to relieve our symptoms. So really cool stuff when we work smart like this. Okay, let's go back to our own charts. So whatever you're doing with your pen, with your computer, with the document, let's go all the way to birth. And honestly, yes, this is important. So, for so many reasons, this is important. So, you can write history, like your parents' history. So, in that pre birth part, you can say, oh, my mom has an autoimmune disease. My father has heart issues. Whatever it is, just jot a few things down. My mom hit menopause when she was 52. My grandma hit menopause when she was, those things are great about your ancestors, your genetics. And then, were you born vaginally or cesarean? Write that down. Were you full term? Were you breastfed? These things directly inform our efforts because that is when our microbiome really develops. And so many women come to me and they were maybe not breastfed, which is no one's fault, no one's to blame. But then we know we need to do certain things for their microbiome, for their hormones to behave a little bit better, and for inflammation to go down in their gut. So, all sorts of really tangible reasons there that we can connect some dots. So, then let's move into our childhood and teen years. So, what do you remember? So, like maybe like close your eyes. What do you remember about being a kid? Were you a kid that had ear infections all the time? That could give us a big clue about a few things. Were you on antibiotics a lot as a child? Or did you grow up in a house where your parents home cooked most things? So, those things are important. Did you get sick often? Did you have any diagnoses as a child? And then we're kind of talking about our childhood and our teen years. So that's quite a bit of time, but we're just jotting things down for now. So go ahead and write, how old were you when you got your first period? How was it? Was it crazy? Was it awesome? Was it heavy? Did you have cramps? Did you have PMS? Did you have to go on the pill because your periods were so bad? Like those all go in that left column. So thinking back to your early childhood and through your teen years. So again, that's quite a lot of time. You can come back and fill things in. And then what about for the life column? So did you move? Did you have to change schools? How was school? Did you hate school? Put that on there. How'd you feel about getting your period? Did anyone teach you about it? Were you just like super lost? Like most of us were back then? Did you have toxic exposure? So were there any smokers in your house? Um, any other weird toxins? Do you live in a big city? Did you travel a lot? You can kind of take that as far as you want. But for the sake of time, I'll give you just a couple minutes to keep filling in there. And if you have to talk to maybe your parents or your siblings to find out more information, that's helpful. Oh, put how many siblings you have. Okay, so now we're in our 20s and our 30s, and we're just like cranking through this pretty quick. Um, but that's okay because you're going to know how to do it when we're done, and you're going to have a really good start. So, your 20s and your 30s, I kind of like to start on whichever side you want, but I love on the right side and the life side, always tracking how your energy was. So, like in your 20s, was that when you were just like feeling amazing or maybe not? What was your energy level? Doesn't have to be perfect, but just like what you remember. How are you moving your body? It's fun to write down when you felt your very best. And if you have to skip ahead to your 50s for that, go for it. um, because a lot of women, when they start figuring themselves out, do start feeling their best in their 50s. Sexual partners, put, any pertinent information about that. Any stressors or trauma, school, jobs. That all stuff goes on the life side, on the right side. But on the left side, kind of the same thing we were doing before. Did you have any diagnoses? If so, what were they? Write down how old you were. 32. I found out I had Hashimoto's, whatever it is. Any symptoms that you struggled with? Did you have did you have babies? When did that happen? Did you breastfeed? How long? Write that in the health section. Were you on birth control? Write that down. How long? And again, I'm going to send you guys this video and the document so you'll be able to go back and fill in the blanks. How were your cycles? Were they regular during your 20s and 30s? Do you remember? How was sleep? This is a lot, I know, but you get the idea. Everything isn't, relevant to everyone. And again, you don't need to, make it like a journal. It'll just be like bulleted points so that you really can start connecting some dots, seeing some patterns, staying curious, and finding out triggers. We're just going to do the same thing for your 40s and 50s, 60s, 70s, wherever you are in your life. And then, when does your cycle start changing? What were some of your early symptoms? Maybe you didn't even know it was related to hormones. I love write what supplements you're taking, different diagnoses, surgeries. Maybe you hurt your knee. You had to have knee surgery. How's your energy in your 40s and 50s? Did things shift? And again, the more clear you can get on when symptoms began, what made them better, what made them worse. Sometimes I use a plus sign for what makes things better and a negative sign for what makes things worse. Your physician will want to know that. Your naturopath will want to know that. You'll want to know that. We're just going to move on because we don't have too much more time, but you're getting the idea of this. I just want to show you this beautiful slide that I have. because this is the whole point of what we're doing. So, what impacts our health? What impacts our hormones? Of course, as we get older, our hormones are going to change, of course. But there are other things that impact them. And this is what we're finding clues about. And this is what gives us action to feel better. So, are there toxins that we were exposed to that are causing symptoms? Maybe we had lead paint as a kid. Is there inflammation happening in our body that we need to take care of? Stress, our microbiome. It's so big. It's such a big factor. It's such a low-lying fruit. Like if you just work on buffing out your microbiome, so much improves, including hormones and chronic pain and chronic inflammation. So much. Blood sugar. So in midlife, blood sugar is really big. Maybe as a kid you had PCOS as a teenager. That's a big clue. Mindset, of course, that's the soul work that is so important. That's why I love tracking our beliefs. How do we feel about getting our period? How do we feel about menopause? It's such an important part of it. Digestion, again. So if you've ever struggled with digestion, bloating or gas, or maybe ferritin can never go higher, iron issues, that can be all digestive problems. Maybe you're eating all the best food in the world, but your body's not actually using it. Detoxification, sometimes this is genetic. Sometimes, when people get headaches with smells, we want to work on that because how we detox our hormones really matters. Our thyroid, our circadian rhythm. So, our hormone health and timeline really helps us to tap into these roots of our health and gives us really actionable places to work. And again, that's what we do in the empowered midlife method is, strategically, methodically move through these to support our body to really handle our hormone changes better and to function better as we age so that, we turn on those good genes so we stay healthy long. Okay, just big picture ideas, everyone. So, make changes, come back to this. Just be curious when you look at things. What times in your life were tricky? Do you need to tell your doctor about anything? Childhood illnesses can really tell us a lot. Ear infections often, correlate to allergies, dairy allergies. So there's a lot of like really cool connections you can make. Life triggers, like sometimes people are like, oh my God, the stress of my move really did trigger all my digestive problems. Keep it going. And the more you work on it, the more clear things are going to become. I've seen it happen over and over again. And then you really do get to take ownership over your health and understand your unique body better. And before I wrap up, and if you're here, you likely know that so much changes in midlife and it can be a wild wobble. So, the Empowered Midlife Method is a program for women who really care about health and who want to feel their best, who want to age their best. It is one place to get all the tools and individualized support you need to really understand your unique body, to work with your body as you get older, to improve how you feel in perimenopause and early menopause, and to really help you age your very best and feel confident about getting older. It's a 12-week program with lifetime access, so you can come back to it anytime you want. There are weekly office hours and a message board for a year to help with accountability and individual support and also just community. So, for a limited time, you can also get access to every single program that I offer over there for midlife women, which includes midlife nutrition, midlife movement, a midlife sleep program, digestion, midlife herbal program, as well as health hacks and a library about expert interviews all around midlife health. There are recipes, menu planning tools, lab work information, yoga videos, qigong videos, cooking demos, cyclical wisdom guidance, so many tangible tools, cheat sheets, checklists to really help you make change. So I have put 3 decades of working with women into this program. It's really the best of everything. And the goal is to help you feel and age your best. So it's science based, but it's rooted in soul. And it really helps women work smarter to optimize health, to really work with their body. So although this program focuses on ways to work naturally with your body, a lot of women use hormone therapy over there, and we have discussions about it, pros and cons, who's doing what. But my goal is to help all women find what's right for them and learn how to take really, again, smart steps to improve how they feel, regardless of hormone therapy or not. Feel free to reach out to me with any questions and sign up soon to get access to everything. And I'm even including the Fall Energy Club, which is all about blood sugar and midlife and burning fat, and also the Spring Detox, which is all about loving your liver and how you're metabolizing toxins and hormones. So women love this program, especially women who really do care about health and want to work smarter and understand their body. So I have endless testimonials, and you can find those over on the website link. I made this really to help you and any midlife woman save time, save energy, save money, save overwhelm and confusion, and just have a clear place to bring your questions, to find resources, to share wisdom with each other, and just check all the boxes in order to really use that wobble in midlife as an opportunity to up level. Otherwise, that's it. We kind of flew through that, but I wanted to be mindful of your time because I know it's valuable. So that was 30 minutes. If anyone has any questions, you're welcome to shout them out or write them in the comments. But this is a great step in really working smarter to improve your health. And, that's for today and how you age. So again, show this to your physician, print it out, or just stay curious with yourself. And also stay curious about where you are in the perimenopause menopause journey. So the more you, track your symptoms and learn about the different phases, the more you're going to be like, well, I'm in early perimenopause, so I can still take vitamin C and Vitex and work on my ovulation. Or like me, I'm 2 months away from, or 1.5 months away from menopause, and I can feel so different now, and it's really cool. The more you come back to it, the more you'll be able to connect these dots. Well, thanks you guys for being here. I'm around. We do have weekly office hours in the Empowered Midlife Method, so lots of time to talk about timelines and personal questions and food questions, anything else that comes up, recipes, anything at all. So it's super fun over there. Check it out if you're interested. And otherwise, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. I hope you found this helpful. Bye, guys.